Have you ever felt like you are doing a thing but you haven't been truly enjoying it? But you are doing it nonetheless. Because everyone around you seems to be enjoying it to the core. What? Thought of something like that? Yep, congrats. You're a victim of peer pressure. Hi again. This is your boring bee. I sound like an RJ. So first, let's know what peer pressure means because, even in these days, people are confused about the meanings of certain words. So, just to be clear, let's read it. Peer pressure is the direct or indirect influence exerted by a social group to encourage an individual to change their attitudes, values, or certain behaviors to conform. Now, they usually say it's mainly faced among the teens, but as a 22-year-old female, I disagree. As someone who has been through college years recently, trust me, I feel like it exists even more at this age. So how do you become a victim of peer pressure? Now, as I previously told you, how you don't truly enjoy something everyone else is doing, but you are still doing it. Why? Because people around you have normalized it. And then you question your own self as if something is wrong with you. And that's the pressure you act on. Pressure to fit in. I'm an introverted person and social circles drain me naturally. But there was this point where I felt like even normal hangouts were burning me out. What did I realize from that? Simple. First, I wasn't being myself, and second, I didn't feel like part of that group. How could I tell? I didn't relate to anyone there, and in my mind there was only one thought. That was, I wanna go! Now let's look at some examples of peer pressure so that we understand what exactly this means. So let's take the most classic examples. Smoking, drinking, going to the clubs. Let me make this thing clear right here. I'm not really talking about the ones who truly enjoy it. Here we are talking about the people who already have doubts about trying these things and are directly forced into doing this. So what happens is when you're in a circle where everyone are into smoking, into drinking, but you are the type of person who haven't ever tried this. And you'd usually hear things from the other people in the circle like, come on, try it. Don't be so boring. Everyone is already doing it. Try to loosen up for once. It's annoying, right? To hear such things when you're already firm in your mind that you don't want to, but you are being forced to do this. And usually what happens is you will be considered uncool for not doing this. So the fear of being uncool in front of that circle, that particular circle, is something which we call the pressure to fit in. The newer generation, especially the Gen Zs, thrives on performative stuff. You can see it on social media that influencers are mostly performative. Their whole lifestyle they portray in certain aesthetics might not even always be true, but the ones who might see them and envy them would be the public viewers. And you know how everything is a flex these days. Being able to travel around or being able to buy branded products, everything is a flex. But no one talks about how much it impacts a person who's maybe not financially strong or just careful on how to use their money. They'd get influenced too to retain that type of lifestyle for them without thinking that there would be difference between them and the influencers and can impact life negatively. Like their life and mental health would not be okay after watching someone else get everything and them not getting anything. And the worst part is half of it is not even what they see. It's usually fake. So what I mean is even this is the form of peer pressure because your brain is making you believe that others are enjoying life while you are not. Even things like dating and relationships, like there is so much pressure to get into relationship or date someone because it is so normalized by our generation that someone who's single is seen as the odd one out. But what I have noticed is that people who get in relationship do not put enough thought into choosing their partners. Again, I'm not talking about everyone, but this is like the condition of lots of people in the dating pool, okay? The fact that they do not put enough thought into choosing their partners and in long term end up getting hurt. But sure, let's just date right. Everyone is dating at our age and around us. Now that doesn't mean that you shouldn't date because I said so. What I simply mean is don't date cause everyone else is dating around you. Date cause you want to, and date because you and your potential partner are actually into each other. Meaning is don't get a partner just for emotional support. I mean, you can get that, of course, if your partner is doing it willingly. It's a good thing and it's okay to expect that, but not to expect just that. You get me? Like, it's not about just emotional support. Relationship works when there are many other aspects involved, not just one singular thing. Now, last but not the least, how do you deal with peer pressure? Now, if you ever get in a situation and your hunch says nah, don't do it. Simple. The most important thing is learn to say no. And I know it's easier said than done, because what happens usually in such situation is you fear losing your bond with that person and ruining your relationship, whatever type of relation it is. But think of it this way. Why do you care about what they think about you when they don't even think of your comfort? The fact that they are not being considerate about your comfort says a lot about them, and maybe they are not the right type of people you need around you. So is it worth it to care about ruining your bond with them? You yourself think about it. Now, in other situation like where your brain is giving you FOMO and you yourself get influenced without any person forcing you to do it for you, trust me, what will eventually happen is that you will end up getting drained. So the best thing to do in such situation is that instead focus on something which you truly love and excel at. Focus on something which helps you build successful and healthier life, because in long term that is what's gonna matter. That doesn't mean that I'm saying eliminate all the fun from your life. Of course not. In fact, I'm asking you to figure out what is your definition of fun rather than the idea of what society puts in front of you.